What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Here's another video in the used car segment. This is almost edging into being new simply because this is a 2022 Honda CRV Touring Hybrid all-wheel drive in this pretty black color. Why would you be looking at this car? There's quite a few reasons, actually. One, you can save money on going with a 22, 21, all the way dating back to 2017, because this is the same design queue that's been carried since 2017 of CRV's redesign, with a few minor tweaks here and there, especially towards the end of the redesign or the new generation of CRV that came out and that is still running. Overall, you'd buy a CRV because one, you want to ride high, two, you want a reliable car, three, you want practicality, four, you want utility, and fifth and last, you want the reliability of Honda. Fuel economy, I don't have to mention, but this is phenomenal on that, especially being hybrid. You get a combined of 35 on the highway and 45 in the city. Obviously, it's a hybrid, so you get more in the city versus what you get on the highway. Overall, I truly really like how this CRV looks and compares to this generation of RAV4, but do let me know what you guys think, because if you're looking at a CRV, you're probably, and you should be, also looking at a Toyota RAV4, a Hyundai Tucson, a Kia Sorento, and then anything else that is in the same lineup for the same price point if you're going for a used car. I think this particular design has aged pretty well. If you don't want to go for a 22, 21, you can go as far back as 2017 and still get the same design. To me, this looks like a very smart and a very sexy design queue, to be very honest. I just like how it curves and how it has lines. So coming to the front, I do love how it appears on the front. If we go from bottom up, you could see that touring model. Also, along with EXL, you'll get the fog lights. There is a combination of matte and piano, which I like. It keeps it subtle. Nothing too flashy, but also not too bland. You have this strip that is the chrome strip that runs across your daytime running lights that also switch to your indicators, and then you have the LED lights there. The Honda emblem, unlike now, this doesn't really sense all the Honda sensing. Your sensing sits right here as well. And then as far as what's under the hood, without popping the hood open, this is a 2.0 4-liter hybrid engine that's got the 143 on the Atkinson cycle, and then you've got the two motors that push out a combination of the 212 horsepower. Of course, for the CRV, you're not buying to floor it like I typically say in my cars, and within this segment, especially from Honda, Toyota, you're also not buying to show off. You're only buying for your practicality, the utility, the fuel efficiency of the car, and then of course what this offers you, which is longevity. As we go around the side, you don't really have too much going on that would make you question this design of the CRV from the side, really, right? So as we go around this way, you can see there's this chrome strip that runs at the very bottom, and I think for the segment this car belongs to, this is totally okay. I wouldn't zonk it, I wouldn't black it out, I wouldn't question it. Same idea, this kind of goes in line with the window sill that is chromey along with the roof rails that you've got there. The tires, I do really like that they are brushed in a way, grayed out. This is your 235 55 R19 tire here, so the road noise is actually pretty minimized when it comes to how the CRV sounds on the inside as the rubber meets the road. As we go around the back, I still think this is a handsome design. It's got nice curves. I truly do like how this particular generation of CRV had its indicators and the lights the way they are. I do really enjoy the fact that they've given enough thought to make lights somewhat a pretty factor or feature out here. If we go from top to bottom on the trunk, you don't have anything that is out of ordinary. You've got your typical wiper there, you've got the backup camera. Yeah, CRV's got a lot of badgings, but I think I still would give the badging award, as I typically do to Subaru, but you have the CRV all-wheel drive hybrid and touring. I mentioned it, I think, in my one of the other videos, but I do now appreciate that the 23 CRVs has moved the all-wheel drive badging from here to here as a sticker, which I think is a very good decision, a small one, but I think it makes a huge difference because you don't really need to flash that it's an all-wheel drive. You as a driver should be the one to know it because you're the only one going to use it. Nobody else needs to know that it's an all-wheel drive. Coming down below, you've got parking sensor, a chrome strip. This kind of is in line with the entire profile of the car. No exposed exhaust tip, but you do have an exhaust tip out here. It's a hybrid. You don't need that, but I think, this is my opinion, let me know how you guys think, but I think on every car, they can still fake exhaust things simply because I think it adds to the profile. And if they are trying to give a sporty feel to a car, it would give that feel when you finish it off with an exhaust pipe there. Overall, I think this is a beautiful looking car with what it does and the price point it comes under. This particular design is going to age well. It has been aging pretty well. CRVs are known for what they do, which is they take you places in the most fuel efficient way, giving you the practicality and the reliability of the car. We're gonna go inside, and as we go inside, you can see that it does come, the touring model does come with the integrated turn signals. Your EXL would also have this. As we talk about the trim level, of course, you can start from the LX coming up all the way to the touring with having the SE trim level in between that as the design was changing, and then you've got your typical the sport one, the EX, EXL touring, and then the touring hybrid. You could have EXL, a EXL hybrid, touring hybrid. You had all those options back then. Going to the door panel, I do like the effect of fake wood here. Because when you're buying this, you don't really care for it whether it's real or not. It's part of the aesthetics, and I think it goes pretty well. You've got soft touch here, leatherette, then some leatherette here, then probably, pleather, fake leather here, scratch here. You've got decent sized cup holders for bottle to upright. Nothing crazy when it comes to what you get here. You still don't get power folding. You have the 2-person's memory seat, which is also linked with your key fob, and then the typical one-touch auto up-down for the driver and the passenger. Your seat controls, you get power on both driver and passenger, along with lumbar for the driver. As we hop inside, but before we do that, I just want to give you a 360 of the cabin as to how it looks, and frankly, it looks really nice. I do like how minimal it is. There are certain things that I don't like about it, which we'll go over, but as we start, this was the previous Honda fob. Now it's oblong. See, this is the driver 2 key that I have. So you could set that and it switches the position to that. So let's go ahead and fire up the engine. The gauge cluster on this as it's coming up, it's digital, but it's not configurable to a point where it is now, but you're still able to see the basic things that you want to see. However, the 2 separate sides are actually only dedicated to, let's say, your fuel on the right side and then your car temperature on the left side. And then you've got the middle screen that allows you to bring in different information such as the trip, speed, things like that. No heads-up display or anything in this particular model. We're going to go from left to right. So as we look down, here is your Honda sensing control. I do really like the fact that this generation had buttons to toggle on and off when it comes to your lane departure, things like that, as opposed to going into the menu as it is now in 2023 that almost everything is in the screen for you to do. This is just a quick way when you want to turn on and off in terms of the safety features, right? Coming up here, if we look at the steering, it's a good size for what the car is. It's leather wrapped because it's a touring model. You've got your typical standard infotainment controls to the left, your cruise controls to the right. Then you've got the shifter paddles. This is your hybrid, so the regen braking is what it will do. This is a CRV. You're not going to drive this because you want to race somebody. Up here, the quality of this is actually really nice. It's soft to touch. It's not leather, but it's like leatherette type of a thing. Coming down here, this is my zonk. I know people actually liked it or disliked it. I think it's a 50-50 there. It just get some used to. If I was to go for a CRV, I probably would either, go for a different trim, or maybe this is just a matter of getting used to. I'm someone, when I drive, I try to rest my hand on the shift knob. So it becomes, it will become an issue for me there. Coming from bottom up, actually. So let's go bottom up. We have the typical tree. This is funny. This is console, but you can't really store anything because it doesn't block it. So what it does is it just shuts. It's an armrest, but then what you see is basically what you get here, because you can basically put things through. There's a tray that slides in and out, so it gives you that space. So I guess they've minimized it to an extent here by giving you that. Cup holders, yeah, nice and wide. You've got the wireless charging. Again, like I say, not much practicality when it comes to the grip to it, but it is there, so you can utilize it if it needs to be. As we come up, you could see there's 2 USBs, so you could use it for your CarPlay. It's not wireless Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. You need to plug the phone in. Here, I already talked about the gear knob, but then you have got your parking hold, the parking brake, the brake hold, your 3 different modes that it gives. So your normal, your sport, your econ mode, and then the EV mode, since this is a hybrid. What needs to be manual is manual when it comes to your climate control. Things like that is pretty manual, all control there. Then what you have on the side is heated, no ventilated seats here. The screen, this is tiny. There's a lot of real estate that could have been used, which wasn't actually used by Honda. They could have probably came up with something. The most they did is they gave the knob back here, but I think it just looks funky simply because of the dead space around it. And the actual screen, I don't even know if it's 7 inches, but I'm gonna go with that it's 7 inches. Typical control, I had this very similar screen in my 2016 Honda Accord, except that it wasn't with the navigation, so this tab was off, but everything else is pretty standard here. You don't really have anything crazy going on. Worth mentioning, typical sources to connect to. The navigation to me, let's go back. The navigation to me looks like it's the built-in Garmin, because if I recall from early or mid 2000s, this is how the Garmin GPS would be when you turn on. Otherwise, typical vents here. It doesn't have a worth mentioning sound system. There is nothing premium about it, but it does sound pretty decent. Overall, this is how the interior would look like. I do love the perforation on the seats. They does give some character to how it is. Up here, you still have the home link, which is something I miss in the current generations, because now it's a dealer accessory, so you got to add that in. It comes here as a dealer accessory, and they could charge anywhere from like $400 to $500 depending on that. No LED, just typical halogen bulbs here for your map lights there, and then it also had a sunroof there, which is a nice feature. Regular size sunroof, nothing special there, but yes, it had it. As we jump around, I'll give you a final look of the front, and we will go into the back and talk about this, the space there. So as we go around the back doors, yeah, again, the same design cue is carried over when it comes to how nice the door panels look. I actually like the back door panel more than the front door panel, simply because it's got less going on. You've got the tweeters here, you've got the speaker, then you also have like 3 different sizes of storage there. So, but no heated seats back here, no ventilation, nothing of that sort, but overall nice. So if you have, a small family right now, a growing family, I think a CRV is a good choice for you to keep as an option when you're comparing that. Okay, so as I jumped in, what I did notice is that the seating height is kind of low. So it doesn't feel like you're sitting in a super high car. That's just how I feel when I sit in it. But let me know if you guys have sat in it and you felt this. This is how I felt. The seat is a little too pushed out for my height. I'm 5'9". You obviously won't have this much space at 5'9", but if the seat was pushed back at a decent space or at a decent position, you still have plenty of room for your legs to stretch out, which brings me to a point that long road trips on this car is still a possibility that keeps you comfortable, and you can cover long distances because you also have the hybrid, so it gives you that fuel economy in the good way. What do we get back here in terms of power and air? So we get the vents, and we also get the USB-A, no USB-Cs there. You can always use a dongle if your phone now only takes USB-Cs. 1 map pocket here, no map pocket there. I have no clue why they cut the cost like that. Like, someone sitting, they could also store something here, but nope. These seats, again, you get the same perforation here. I truly do like the quality and the comfort of them. The backs are pretty flat anyways when it comes to the bolsters, but overall speaking, these are nice quality seats. I do love when an armrest with cup holders is oriented this way so you can still have your drinks and you can rest your arms. So this is a good way of putting that. I wish sedans also go this route, and it sits higher or in the air, so I do like that. The seat will give you the 60-40 split. We'll go into the trunk and we'll show you that. These seats do not go back and forth, but they do recline. So overall, it is a comfortable back, small family, growing family, or let's say if it's just two people and you want a utilitarian car, this is what it's going to give you. It has plenty of utility to it. No sunroof, typical headliner. There is nothing when it comes to the options that you can add in the interior as far as my knowledge goes. But as we hop out, I think it's a solid interior and a solid overall specs that it gives you on the inside when it comes to what the CRV is offering, even if you go for a used one. As we come around the back and pop the trunk open, this is an auto trunk, so you could use the buttons, you could use your key fob, you could use the kick also, because it has the kick as well. Overall cargo space, I don't know the liters, and I don't think even if I knew I would tell you those liters, simply because nobody really stores things in liters. So we kind of want to know how you can fit. I can tell you, you're easily able to fit 6 if all seats folded. You're able to fit 6 regular size suitcases, 2 if you go on top of them, then 3 of the second size that is after the regular size that carries 50 pounds there, that along with a few duffel bags. You can also fit in a bike without undoing the wheels if it's completely flat. I've done it in the CRV, not this one. I've done it. It works, and you are able to store and haul a lot of things in this car. On the Touring, you get the seat adjusted, the height adjusting trunk there. So if you have a garage that sits low, or anywhere where you don't know the height, you can always adjust to that, or depending on your height too, you can set that adjustment. So that's a cool feature. This is a hybrid, so you don't get a false floor. You already get a raised floor. Underneath, this is a hybrid, like I said, so you get your fixer-flat kit, your funnel for the capless fuel, and no spare tire. With seats folded up, you still have plenty of storage space. Your seats can go into a 60-40 split right from here, which is very, very convenient. The load cover does come off. I'm not going to take it out because then I would have to put it here because it doesn't really have a space to go anywhere. It would be nice if it kind of would fit here, but they can't. So that's there. So just know that if you are going to take the load cover off, you're going to have to stow away at home. But the 60-40 split still gives you plenty of space here. So again, my point, CRV is going to be your choice if you want space, if you want reliability, if you also want a nice looking car with the technology it's giving you for the price points it's giving you, along with the longevity and reliability of Honda. So this was the quick overall review of the 2022 Honda CRV Touring Hybrid all-wheel drive. If you can find this car in good condition, this particular one has only driven 8,000 miles, so fairly underdriven for its age, which is, a good thing because it will continue to go for like 1,000,000 miles for that matters. And that could actually be true. So overall, I think the CRV is going to be one of your best bets when it comes to you comparing in the segment of a compact SUV, which is, again, either for yourself as a solo person, or if you have a small family, a growing family, this is a good car to keep. This is a good car to have. Your road trips, your regular errands, your work, all of that can be done nicely in CRV. This is a car that you will feel good when you're driving and when you own it, because cost to ownership is very, very minimal, because these cars just run long and they go pretty far for that matter. So I hope this video was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll see you folks in the next video. Take care, everybody.